Welcome inside the Sunday Pig Pile. There's always football to be had on a Sunday night, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. Coming up, an old friend, a familiar face, the Marquette Marvel, Adian Hatton is going to join us. Our college basketball insider returns, former executive producer, to bring us Making Tacos. Been nearly a year since we made tacos here on the show, which means breaking down college hoops. If you ain't making tacos, I love you no more. Adian Hatton will join us a little bit later on in the program. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. You could be joining us right now on YouTube, also on Instagram Live, and on Twitter. However it is that you are watching us this evening, we appreciate it. I appreciate it. It is time to kick things off with your biggest storylines this sports weekend. It's time for the Furious Five. Remember when people said the WBC, the World Baseball Classic, was a waste of time? And look at the crowds now. You got to remember, in the inception of the World Baseball Classic, there was plenty of naysayers wondering, what, you're going to try to play competitive baseball in March? This is the ramp-up time. This is when players start getting healthy and into game-playing action. And you're going to create a tournament out of thin air. Who's going to care? What players will try? Fans will yawn, whatever. You are just trying to copy the Olympics, and in an Olympics year like this, it's going to seem like a bad copy. And instead, look at the crowds. Look at the juice. Look at the energy. I will admit it, I thought that it was going to be one of these baseball creations that fall flat because they just didn't have the sizzle, but they knew they needed to create some type of fabricated interest as interest in the game waned. And I thought it was always going to feel stiff and stupid. And you know what? I was wrong. Those crowds in Puerto Rico, those crowds in Japan, even the crowds here stateside for the U.S. have been phenomenal. And whether it's the banging of drums, whether it is the chants and the flags, whether it is just simply the energy, the palpable buzz in that crowd, it has made the players over these last couple of WBCs recognize how important it is. It might not feel that way to us Americans because Team USA in baseball has rarely ever moved the needle. You know, the World Series is played here in the United States. Major League Baseball's here in our soil. So anything else has always felt to be less than Major League Baseball's ultimate prize. But all these other countries have absolutely embraced it. And it's become endearing in that way. And in doing so, it's elevated, I think, America's interest in it as well. You can't help but watch either games or just these sensational clips on social media without being kind of sucked in, drawn in, like, wow, this matters. And the players love it. And despite Aaron Judge's flat as a piece of cardboard inspiration speech, motivational speech, the guys to a man seem like it really resonates with them, and the crowds have been phenomenal. So, you know what? Baseball has done well with its rules changes. Baseball is right now, after the World Series, got some momentum. Baseball now with the WBC again has a jolt of life. It should not miss a game due to a labor stoppage because it finally has some dominoes in place for it to have real success and to bust open at the top to get to that next level. It should not miss a game due to a work stoppage. And both sides should recognize World Series, World Baseball Classic, rules changes, and television rights on the horizon. Don't be stupid. Don't be arrogant. Figure out a way to get it done. I'm not optimistic, but that's realistic. Both sides should realize they're at a moment in time where they actually have positivity around them. Don't screw it up. Next up in the Furious Five. You almost never hear a college coach admit this, but Adrian Autry just admitted that Syracuse and he himself were not ready for modern college basketball. This is pretty insane because even if those are the concerns behind the scenes, you almost never admit that publicly. But Syracuse has missed the NCAA tournament 5 straight years. They're not going to make it this year unless they make a miraculous run to win the ACC tournament. That is not going to happen. 5 straight years for a prestigious program missing the NCAA tournament is a problem. And the last 2 years under Jim Boeheim, the same thing happened. The transition has not been pretty in Syracuse. And so the question has been, well, what's the problem here? Is that simply that Adrian Autry was in over his head when he took over the job, not a great head coach? Is it that Syracuse has not invested enough money into the NIL resources? Is it that they don't know the transfer portal? What exactly is it? Because I was just on campus a couple of weeks ago for the North Carolina game at the Dome, and I saw 23,000 people inside a college basketball arena for a team that was going to go 5 straight years without a tournament berth and was going to finish the season more than likely with a losing record. 23,000 still showed up. So I said, what's broken here? And Adrian Autry actually admitted after senior night and an overtime loss to Pitt. By the way, Pitt is one of the only teams of the ACC that's been worse than Syracuse, and Syracuse lost to them at home in overtime in their final regular season game. Autry actually admitted that the program wasn't ready for NIL, for the portal, for metrics, for analytics, for the new world. And because there's been a lot of torches around, the Syracuse program for Adrian Autry to be fired, and because the Barbarians are storming the gate and they want a new head coach, understandably so, I think a lot of people missed the fact that there was about a 60-second clip in that postgame where I was like, whoa, wow, who admits that? And it was like Autry was the internal monologue of AD John Wildhack, himself, and probably Jim Boeheim as well. Whoa, we weren't ready for that. And kind of this idea that as the world turned dramatically, they were left wondering how it slipped out from under their feet. And I was floored. I really was. I was floored that he admitted this. But he even said in it about those new dynamics, I probably should have looked into that harder when he took the job. And he said that the way that business used to be done, where they would recruit and develop players, is not the way it's done anymore. The world has changed. And he also said, essentially, quote, and it doesn't change back quickly, that this is not a quick fix. Now, Syracuse upped its payroll 3 times from last year by 3x to get to $8 million this season for its basketball NIL money and its salaries, basically. Well, if tripling your money as an investment in NIL delivered you another non-tournament season, a double-digit seed in the ACC tournament, and a year where you are sub 500 in conference and overall, what does that say about how far you've got to go? Is that just the coach? Is that just the coach? That was a real eye-opener to me to have somebody actually admit it. And this doesn't make me proud to say because I'm an alum. I want to see that program be good. I remember the good old days with the Big East. But I think it was indicative of a lot of schools where the world changed too quickly. And it's probably a metaphor for a lot of people in general that just look around society and say things are just going too haywire, too crazy, and it's changed so quickly. I didn't even notice, what the old stuff was breaking apart. I thought I figured it out. And then as soon as I had my arms around something, there was another problem. You can never quite catch it. I think a lot of people feel that way in modern society about a lot of things. I think Adrian Autry actually verbalized things that a lot of programs, ADs that had done things, coaches a certain way, were like, holy crap. And I think it's really the underbelly of why Jay Wright and Coach K and Roy Williams and Jim Boeheim all left. because they saw this as something wild, like an electric cord that just was spitting sparks, and they said, we don't know this, and we might as well just get out. Which I give credit to the Tom Izzos of the world, the Caliparis of the world, the Bill Selfs of the world, who have one foot stuck in the old and now one foot stuck in the new. They have charged ahead, but it is not easy. It is not easy. And Autry looked like a deer in headlights last night, like longingly looking up of, I misjudged this. And wow, how often do you get somebody that actually verbalizes that? Next up, some NFL. According to reports, Tom Brady reportedly blocked a Maxx Crosby trade to the Patriots. And that raises a very awkward question. Does Tom not want to do a solid for the Patriots organization because he doesn't want to see them succeed without him? Now, if this is simply, hey, I don't want it to look like I did any favors for the Patriots, okay, I can understand it. But remember the story that we had during Super Bowl week, where Brady was asked who he thought was going to win, and he said, I don't have a dog in the fight. And Patriots fans imploded, and New England and Boston media imploded. They said, yes, you do have a dog in the fight. You have the Patriots. And everybody wondered what that really meant, including myself, that Brady would not commit to the Patriots as a team that he had a soft spot for, that he wanted to win. He was not even calling the game. Now, my vibe at the time was, this is just a guy who never wants to be on the wrong side of anybody's opinion. You know, he's always played the good guy. He's never really wanted to be the villain. He's never really said anything that's all that opinionated. He has played it very close to the vest as an analyst. He does football and only football. I just saw it as, hey, I'm in Tom Brady analyst mode and I don't have a dog in the fight. But when his former teammates really took him to task and blasted him, guys that were always loyal to him and called him out, and former teammates actually said, you can't be the only one winning, Tom. That was a whoa eye-opener in itself of like, here's guys that always were uber loyal to the Patriots and to Tom, and they're calling him out publicly. Hey, man, you got to vouch. You're a Patriot. What's going on? This can't be about you. So it makes you wonder if he blocked a trade to the Patriots of Maxx Crosby, was it because of the same thing? That he actually doesn't want the Patriots ever to win again because he wants to be the guy that always carried the Patriots torch. Could be that. Could be simply, as I said before, that Brady just simply doesn't want to seem like he's doing anybody favors in New England. But it would make sense based on what we heard Super Bowl week that he actually doesn't want to help the Patriots in any way. That maybe even views them as the ultimate arch rival, which is some type of heel turn. Ultimately, the Raiders did very well, getting 2 1s for Maxx Crosby, who's nearing 30. Crosby's a great pass rusher. Obviously, we all know that. One of the best in the game. A motor doesn't quit and wants to be part of a winner. You can only imagine a career that's only been locked into Raider nonsense, how desperately you want to win. So the Ravens went all in, and I think that's really indicative of where Eric DeCosta is as a general manager, where they had to let John Harbaugh go. But much like in Buffalo, a successful head coach was pushed out the door, where a general manager that has had probably the same amount of responsibility in the failures got to stay. DeCosta knows he's got to build a better roster, especially at pass rush, because they've nickeled and dimed pass rush for too long, and the Ravens keep stubbing their foot in the playoffs. Crosby certainly helps that, but that's a rich cost. 2 1s? 2 1s. That's a lot. 2 1s. Again, Crosby's one of the best, but his production has seemed to go down in recent years, and he's 29 years old. The Raiders did well in getting 2 1s. You had to trade him to start this rebuild, and now you have the number 1 pick in the draft. You have your franchise quarterback in Mendoza coming in, and you get 2 1s for Maxx Crosby. And hopefully you hit it on this head coach. But for Tom Brady at the top to say, we can trade Crosby, but we can't trade him there, wow. That's some spite. Next up in the Furious Five, speaking of the NFL's offseason, the report that the Jets might be intrigued in Carson Wentz to be their starting quarterback this upcoming season is honestly just cruel and inhumane punishment for Jets fans. Have they not been through enough? Carson Wentz is not a guy you put under center of a bad football team. Carson Wentz has changed zip codes. I mean, Rent don't own Carson Wentz. This is a guy that has gone through how many uniforms, how many jerseys, how many offensive schemes, how many different coaches and offensive coordinators over the last 5 years. How many? And now the Jets might be interested in making him the sacrificial lamb on a very bad football team in 2026. Say it ain't so. Haven't Jets fans been through enough? And in fact, when I saw this report, I thought to myself, the corpse of Carson Wentz's is his career, combined with Aaron Glenn as his coach, combined with the MetLife Stadium, drab, depressing, quiet atmosphere in one of the worst stadiums in the NFL, almost feels like AI slop. You ever watch an AI clip and you're like, that's just a little too on the nose, so it obviously is off? You're like, oh, that logo just isn't quite right on that helmet, so you know it's AI slop. Or you're like, oh, that guy's arm bends out instead of in, so his elbow doesn't work correctly. Like, oh, that guy has 6 fingers. There's those little tells when something looks so real that you know it's AI slop. And Carson Wentz in a Jets uniform at MetLife Stadium on a drab November day feels just a little bit too much like AI slop, which means maybe they have to do it. But could you imagine the longest playoff drought in the NFL and what you have to sell to that fan base is Carson Wentz. Because Frank Reich likes him? Because Frank Reich once coached him? Oh, no. Oh, that, again, cruel and inhumane punishment to make Jets fans watch 17 Carson Wentz starts. Yeah, there were moments last year in Minnesota. Guess what? They had Justin Jefferson. Don't make Jets fans do this. Please don't make Jets fans endure a season worth of Carson Wentz. Just don't. Please don't. Please don't do it. And finally, I love this story from baseball. I love it. Most Hall of Famers hold on to their memorabilia for their lives. Forever. They've all got great stuff and they usually hold on to it. Andre Dawson just gave it all away. Unbelievable. Former National League MVP. A guy who's in Cooperstown. A guy who hit Titanic blasts. Had some iconic moments. Played on some great baseball teams. How about those Expos teams of the early 80s that had fellow Hall of Famers Gary Carter and Tim Raines on them? He played on the north side of Chicago at Wrigley Field and hit 47 home runs or 49 home runs and won MVP for a last place team. This guy was amazing. This guy could get it done whether you stunk or whether you were great. And Andre Dawson unfortunately played on too many teams that stunk, but he has incredible memorabilia throughout an MVP in Cooperstown career. And this guy gave it all away for charity. He gave it all away so that a charity in Chicago could auction it off for cancer patients. Is that not incredible? Is that not one of the most giving things you could ever imagine? Imagine how much money you can raise if you've got Silver Slugger Awards, MVP trophies, this ring, this trophy, that jersey, cap, uniform, bat, etc. You're in the Hall of Fame. Andre Dawson is such a good guy. He said, you take it. You auction it off. You donate all that money to charity. That is for cancer research and patients. Unbelievable. What a guy. What a human being. What a spirit. What giving thoughtfulness from Andre Dawson. I saw that. I said, I got to talk about this. People need to know this. People need to hear this story because we are inundated with all these bad stories and headlines that are about this guy stinks, this guy should be traded, and this guy's doing this, and this guy's a headache, and this team stinks, and this coach should be fired. And here's Andre Dawson, just the best guy ever. Absolutely the best dude ever. And so wanted to highlight that because that is an amazing, amazing story. All right, I am super excited about this. If you've been a longtime fan of the DA show, you remember making tacos. Once upon a time, Super Dave Friedman, the voice of Winthrop basketball at the time, was taking our drops on the show, on the radio show, and using them during Winthrop basketball games. And one of the clips was one of my callers calling in, and it sounded like he was saying, if you're not making tacos, I don't love you no more. He was quoting Jimmy Johnson and saying, Jimmy used to say, if you're not making tackles, I don't love you no more. But we thought it sounded like tacos, and tacos was far funnier. And so last year, our friend, the former executive producer of this show, the Marquette Marvel, would give us a weekly segment digging into college basketball so that you were ready to fill out your brackets. He's back today. Let's cue the music here on Watch DA Live. It is time.
If you're not making tacos, I don't love you no more.
Is Adian Hatton with the t-shirt du jour. Look at that. He's rocking. Every month should be March. My friend, how are you?
It is amazing to be here, DA. I feel awkward on the other side of the room here in the studio, but I'm so happy to be here.
How does it feel to have somebody producing for your segment?
It feels pretty good. Spectre Gadget, shout out to you because I've heard nothing but great things and already has maybe a better nickname than me with the Marquette Marvel, Spectre Gadget. DA is the king of nicknames, as we all know. So I think that trumps mine already.
Love it. I love that you're back here. You are working for NBC Sports Boston, and you've been incredibly successful everywhere you've went. I'm sure you're continuing to crush it, but here's where you got to help us out. Plenty of people have no idea what's going in college basketball going on, and so you've got three different segments to help us through this. The first one is Feeling Caliente. Let's do it.
Feeling good, doing well. Feeling good, doing well.
Right now in college hoops.
Oh, such a beautiful graphic. Well, you know the saying, DA. Defense makes tacos. And this is going to be the year of the D, DA, because your top four teams on KenPom in terms of defensive rating right now, Duke, Michigan, Arizona, Florida. And by my money, those are the four best teams in the country. Probably the 4-1 seeds as it stands right now in the NCAA tournament. So if you like defense, this is the year for you. I'll also give you a second caliente point to remember, a team or player. I would call this the hole-in-the-wall taqueria, a place not getting enough attention, but you're okay with it because you order every Sunday night. That's Arkansas. That's John Calipari,
Coach
and
Cal.
that's Darius Acuff Jr. Coach Cal won the breakup, DA. I think it's pretty fair to say. Kentucky, pushed them out to the side. Yeah. And now Kentucky fans are as, if not more, miserable with Mark Pope at the helm. Cal, he's got his freshman rolling, and that freshman that you have to watch in the tournament is Darius Acuff Jr. He leads the SEC in scoring right now. The guy is an absolute dog, as Pat Boyle would say. So that's a guy that's on fire heading into the tournament.
Okay, very good. All right. Is that the two calientes?
Two calientes.
Okay. Next up, who's got...
He has a weird waist.
So give me your candidates for guys that don't have you feeling good and doing well.
By the way, the production on this is already better than what we did last year. Waste of space. Just awesome. I'll do one weird and one waste, DA, because we put that together. I'll start with the waste. That's Purdue. Preseason #1 team in the country. They are the definition of beat up on bad teams, but can't beat a good team. I'll give you the records.
Okay. Quads
2 through 4, their record is 15-0. Quad 1, what's their record? 8-7.
Ooh.
They don't take a lot of transfers. Matt Painter is an awesome coach, just like my team of Marquette. They don't take a lot of transfers. They love building the culture. They got maybe one of the best point guards in the country in Braden Smith, who is a household name that you'll know in your brackets. But you got to wonder if this team has plateaued and has brought back the same roster. And they made a Sweet 16 last year. That's where I forecast them again this year. So that's the waste, W-A-S-T-E, W-A-I-S-T, in the Purdue Boilermakers. The weird, to balance out that side of the equation, is a team like Kansas. The most unpredictable team in the country, DA, the Kansas Jayhawks. Darren Peterson, as the national headlines have spoken.
What do we think about this?
He's the most skilled player in the country, and I think if he had a normal season, would be the bona fide #1 pick in the NBA draft. But he doesn't play basketball, so that's our problem.
That's a hard thing to get over in the NBA draft.
That's a hard thing to do. As a Massachusetts native, if I was a GM, I'd go with AJ DeBonsa right now. But on this Kansas team, Darren Peterson, we know the saga. Will he play? Won't he play? He has played as of late over 30 minutes a game, which I'll give him credit on. But their record makes absolutely no sense. They win without him, but they lose with him. They win big games without him, but they lose big games with him. But I have to end this all with a caveat. They absolutely have the talent to win a national championship. It's the biggest wild card in the bracket. No one knows. If someone says, I know what to do with Kansas, don't trust them, because unless you've heard a spirit from above that tells you what's going to be the prediction with Kansas, no one knows.
So you think they can do it even without Peterson?
No, they can't win a national championship without him.
Oh, okay.
I'm forecasting that as he's, played more often these last 2-3 weeks of conference play, they could put it together, because they got a point guard in Melvin Council Jr., who is also a dog, so much so that the Kansas crowd barks, DA, when he gets the ball. Almost like an opponent booing when he gets the ball. The Kansas team actually barks when he gets the ball at Allen Fieldhouse.
Kind of
so
like
there's a guy as well, Melvin Council Jr.
Pound. Yeah, the old Browns fans. Okay, very good. All right, I like it.
Here we go, Jayhawks. Here we go. Woof, woof.
Was that one or two wastes of space?
Those are your two wastes of space. So we want to move on to the third and maybe most important category.
That's exactly right. Anybody that's listened to the DA show over the years knows my fondness, my affinity for the mid-majors. It's time for some mid-major magic delivered right here on Watch DA Live.
Have fun with your marriage.
So today, Sunday, March 8th, it's actually my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Hatton.
I found myself not watching Jason Tatum in his return this weekend to the NBA. I found myself watching the ASUN Tournament Championship.
Well, why would
just par for the course.
Yeah, that feels like a sickness that you have, a college basketball sickness, a disease.
It's a case of the March Madness. And you know what else I could be watching as well on a Sunday afternoon? The King of Queens. And I watched Queens University, win the ASUN tournament today, DA.
Where is Queens University?
This is what you must be reading my script. It's not in Queens, New York.
No, definitely not.
You're going to be going to your March Madness parties here in a couple weeks and being at a bar and saying you're going to have some bar trivia to throw around. I'll give you one.
Okay.
Queens University, not in Queens, New York. You want to take a guess?
Well, Charlotte's known as the Queen City, so could it be Charlotte?
You are correct.
Yeah, how about that?
I also thought that Cincinnati was a queen city.
Yeah,
it feels like there's a lot of queen cities.
Cincinnati was my second guess because I think that's also a queen city.
There may be more than one. I know people in Buffalo may also say Queen City as well up there. I heard that in the last couple weeks.
Okay.
So the Queens Royals, great mascot. They finished third in the conference in the regular season, but just beat the first seed Central Arkansas in the tournament championship today. They're top 20 in the nation in effective field goal percentage. They take care of the basketball. It's their first year of eligibility for the tournament, and they're going to the big dance.
Is that right? So they've never we've never filled them out in a bracket. We haven't seen them in a championship game. They haven't been on the bubble or anything. This is the first time they've ever been eligible for the bracket.
Not only that, it's their first year of being eligible, and it's their first tournament appearance. So fun team to root for, the Royals. They got a nice mascot.
Nice.
And they're located in Charlotte.
Love it. This is great. Love it. Tobacco Road.
And the last mid-major mothership team I'll give you for now, Hawaii.
Ooh, okay.
Everybody loves themselves some Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, which,
of course,
as a mascot aficionado, it's one of the best mascots in the country. Can't ignore. Football, basketball, gymnastics, you name it. Rainbow Warriors, they don't switch on defense, DA. This is straight out of a high school movie.
Okay.
They don't switch on defense, but it's working. On the three-point line, they're in the top 10 in the country on three-point percentage in defense.
Wow,
so tough to make a three. Tough to make a three against Hawaii. You'll see them in their conference tournament later this week. This is their best team in 10 years, DA. Last time they were in the tournament was the 2015-16 season. They won a tournament game as a 13 seed.
I don't remember that. They beat a 4 seed back then, huh? Hawaii got a win.
They beat the Cal Bears as a 4 seed back in 2016. So those Rainbow Warriors, they could do it again.
That deserves a Robbie Rosenhaus huge freeze. Is that right? Wow.
Is that so? One of my favorites.
Is that so?
So I got many more in the holster for you, but those are your 2 mid-major Magic teams to watch for this week, going into conference tournament week. Waste of Space, Calientes, ready to go. Those are your tacos for the week.
Excellent. Nice job by Adian Hatton, the Marquette Marvel. Okay, we're going to do this throughout March Madness. So you'll be back next week and then throughout the entire tournament. Is next Sunday when we do this Selection Sunday?
That's correct, DA.
Wow. Okay. We're going to have to bring in Super Dave Friedman to give us his picks. We'll bring you in also to break down the bracket. That'll be a lot of fun. And you're coming into New York City for the Big East tournament. Am I right?
That is right. You'll see me there on Wednesday, which it's a thank you for teeing this up for me, because look at that. We got through the whole segment and I didn't mention the upset of the day yesterday in college basketball, which is my Marquette Golden Eagles taking down the beloved Dan Hurley and the UConn Huskies, getting him out of Fiserv Forum, crying to the refs at the rest. 1 second left, gets kicked out. Absolute bliss. It's been a down season for my Golden Eagles. I won't ignore that. But it was the absolute cherry on top to watch them beat UConn at home on senior day and roll right into the Big East tournament.
Gotta love it. Anytime you can get under Hurley's skin, you got a friend in a lot of people. You make a lot of friends out there. So
it's just the best.
All right, man. Great job today. We'll see you next Sunday, buddy. Everything good?
Everything else is good. Everything else good with the show. I should be asking you the same thing.
Yeah, it was a great football season. We had some amazing guests. I mean, look at this guest list that we had this year. We had Diana Rossini, Ian Rappaport, Jason Lockenfora, Amy Trask, Mike Giardi, James Palmer, Anish Shroff, the voice of the Panthers, Lindsey Rhodes. We had Robert Turbin. We had Devin Hester. We had just a ton of amazing guests throughout the year, and that was awesome. And, football season kind of did some wonders for us. Our subscribers kind of exploded right after the regular season, December, January, February. We're on kind of a roll here. And Ben Spector Gadget's on the wheels of steel right now. He's controlling things. And we just gotta keep taking it one show at a time, Aiden, as you know, and can't get ahead of ourselves, and just got to make sure that we remember, what we learned in the film room, practice, and bring it out there on Sunday nights.
Spectre Gadget, he's probably dealt with some shrapnel in the locker room and those meetings during the week, as I know far too well. But that's what makes the man, is what makes some thick skin. I wonder if we should engage the chat on what I should order for breakfast when we go out on Thursday, because I will be in the city. We're hopefully going out to breakfast.
Yeah, I'm going to try to catch up with Aiden after the show that we're wrapped up on Thursday. Him and I are going to try to grab breakfast.
I'm usually in New York City once, maybe twice a year, but overall, I need some food recommendations because I come down, I parachute in, and come to MSG. But this is the time to take advantage of the pizza, Cat's Deli, whatever it may be.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good chat question. Aiden's going to be in New York City. Give him food recs, and we'll take those, and he'll jot down those notes. Now that he's on that side, though, as talent and not producer, Ben Spectre Gadget might end up having to take down the notes and email it to him and transcribe it, because he's going to get a dossier in the green room. Only green M&Ms and the transcript of suggestions. So we'll do that for you, buddy. Thanks as always, and I'll see you on Thursday morning, and then we'll bring it back next Sunday night for Selection Sunday.
You guys are the best. Love you all.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you. Adian Hatton, the Marquette Marvel, joining us here on the show. Excellent as always. Excellent. A reminder that there are so many different ways you can connect with this show and with yours truly in the universe online. Number one, we do this every Sunday night. It's a live show reacting live to what's happening during the Sunday during the day, during the week, but really it's like a weekend recap show. Sunday night here live on all these platforms, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram Live. So make sure you're subscribed, however it is that you're listening or watching right now. Just make sure you hit the subscribe button or the follow button so that you are always channeled in here. Number two, we have this incredible family that comes together once a month to do an Ask DA Anything. And this group of people are diehard DA-liens. They want kind of a next level on all the inside of the show and my career and friends of the show and behind the scenes and all that type of stuff. And every month we bring in a special guest. This past month, earlier in the month, it was Bogues. And so that really was February. And so a couple of weeks ago, February's Ask DA Anything is up, but it's a members only. So it is behind a membership wall. For $3.99 a month, you get access to that and then all of the other members-only exclusive content. I feel like it's priced right, $3.99, that's it. And that also gets you your loyalty badges, which you see right now in the comments section. All of the members get these really cool graphics of my face with all different colors, which is based on how long you've been a member. Also, you are in the running for free giveaways every single month. I've got vintage gear that I give away or vintage memorabilia, part of the Touchdown Club. Okay, so you got to be a member to be part of the Touchdown Club. And we gave away this past month, gave away a really cool set of memorabilia and merchandise. And it was a vintage Sports Illustrated from the 89-90 basketball season. So cool. Jordan on the cover, but also an autographed Bernie Kosar collectible card because I had a Bernie Kosar t-shirt on that night. And I just want to read to you a email from Lisa who ended up winning that month's prize. Okay. She's been a member here on the channel and an incredible sweetheart. And I just want to read this to you because I was really touched by this. She reached out to me because she had won. And so I got her email and I said, congratulations. I want to send this to you. Send me your mailing address and I'll get this out. And she said, thank you. I hope that I'm not breaking any type of confidentiality here, but I do want to read this. I wanted to let you know I've been a diehard DA-lien since your first show on CBS Sports Radio. I had to retire early from a truly fascinating job. I was a clerk of the Board of Supervisors. And your show on CBS was so good that I could forget about the difficulties that I had, that I suffered from, those first years of not working. She was forced to retire because of physical ailments. I had to leave work the same year that you started on the network. You truly helped me through some dark times. And she said, I really enjoy you and Babs right now. But right now, the podcast, Watch DA Live, the members only, and the shorts that you have on the YouTube channel are the best that we have in sports. And I know that because I still listen to a lot of sports radio. So again, thank you so much. And she said, sorry to bend your ear like that. I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate and enjoy the shows. And you never have to apologize for such kindness. It hits me quite deep when I hear stories like that. And I've talked about this before. When you're on this side of the microphone, you do a show that you hope people like. You hope. I always did a show. I can't say always. When I was younger, it was that I hope that you liked the show. But I grew into hoping that the show mattered. I hope that the show matters to you because I care so deeply about what we do. I probably at times in my career have cared a little too much. It's probably driven people around me a little insane. In fact, I know it's driven people a little insane. But I am the type of guy that doesn't do things halfway. It's really hard for me to put my heart out there without going all the way. So this show, the YouTube channel, the radio shows have always been about everything that I got, I kind of dump out, everything that I can. And so I want it to matter because it matters so much to me. And to hear things like this, that perhaps I could play a small role in helping you feel a little better, getting you through a tough time, helping create laughter, light, enjoyment, levity. It's truly the value in doing this. It is great to talk about sports. It's what I love. It's great to go cover sporting events. It's what I love. But knowing that there's something that can help people feel better is truly my cause. So that's why I've been put on this earth. So it means an incredible, great deal to hear something like that. And I share this because these are the type of people that watch this show. These are the type of people that are members to this channel. These are the type of people you will meet at Bob's Bar sometime this summer when we get the big get-together again. These are the type of people that are in the comments. And I am so freaking proud of that. I am so proud. It doesn't ever have to be the biggest show. I don't care. We don't ever have to have the most subscribers. We don't ever have to have the most followers. I don't care. What I care about is the quality of the people that come here. That's all I really care about. And the quality of the people that come here is so high all of the time. It is so genuine and authentic and cool and positive and smart and clever and funny. And we can be dopey and stupid and angry as well because that's life. That's being human. That's humanity. But the core of everybody is so good. And I'm so proud of that. I stand on that every single day. That this show and the shows that I'm part of draw really great people. So Lisa, thank you. Congratulations. The prize will go out this week. And if you want to be part of Team DA and be part of the members only crowd and a group like this that gets to come chat in a private session once a month and win cool prizes, and I have some other cool things like these crazy emojis that you will see, like making tacos in the chat. All you got to do is click above me where it says join or member, and you're good to go. Starting next week too, once we get through March Madness, I'll start giving away some of these subscriptions for free. I'm going to gift you guys some memberships so that you guys can also kind of hopefully win some on your own, and we'll have a good time doing that. Try to pay it forward. All right. Speaking of high quality people, we're going to start with the beam ups here and hear from you guys. But I got this picture from Moist Pork this week. And if you've listened to my Sirius XM show, it was Purim, which is a Jewish holiday. Now, I didn't know much about the Jewish religion before I got to Sirius XM. My cohorts, Louis Gold, executive producer, and Mike Babchick, a.k.a. Babs, are both Jewish. So they've kind of taught me all about the Jewish holidays. So this week was Purim, which they described to me as kind of the Halloween of Judaism. Well, Moist sent me this picture and said, look at what I wore to Purim, because you can wear a costume. And what he wore was his Hall of Fame jacket, baby. Look at that. Look at that. How cool is that? And that's his beautiful wife there as well. And so, while I'm sure she does not appreciate being known as a family called the Porks, we had to add that to this because he is known as Moist Pork. Look at that jacket, the gold jacket that you win by being a DA-lien Hall of Famer. Look at those pants that Moist has. Amazing. Look how beautiful his wife is. Amazing. That is just a good-looking couple, and I feel so cool and so good and so rich in blessings that Moist wore the DA Hall of Fame jacket to Purim. I mean, how cool is that? That is just freaking awesome. So happy Purim. I assume that's what you do to celebrate. You say happy Purim. I hope that's right. But what a beautiful family, what a beautiful soul. And, Moist Pork is one of the best. Anybody that's met him knows he's one of the best people that you'll ever meet. And so hopefully we can get him back at Bob's Bar this upcoming summer and have a good time with him once again. And all of you guys are always welcome and invited to events like that to help spread the love. All right, it is time for Ben Spector Gadget. Let's get this guy in here. Look at this guy. Look at this. He's looking for clues on that football field. Ben Spector, how are we? Happy Sunday.
Hello. It's good. Seeing Aiden was great, by the way. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's good to kind of like catch up on the old faces, the old friends that have always come around here. I've always said the show's a little bit like Pee-wee's Playhouse. People, the characters just kind of come and go, but they're never far. They're never
right.
Far. They don't wander very far.
Before we go through some comments, can I break some news can I be the Watch DA Live insider via aggregate?
Yes, please. Yeah, the Schefter of Watch DA. I like this.
Well, this is from Adam Schefter.
Okay.
Rams and Trent McDuffie reached an agreement today on a contract extension.
Okay.
4 years, $124 million, $100 million guaranteed. McDuffie gets traded a new deal, highest paid cornerback in NFL history.
It's really good. He's really good. And the Rams realize they've got like a 1 to 2 year window with Matthew Stafford to win a Super Bowl. This is going to be interesting when they have to pay the piper again on contracts, when they don't have a future Hall of Famer under center, but they've got to be aggressive. They were one touchdown away from probably winning the Super Bowl. If they win the NFC Championship game, they were going to slaughter the Patriots. So they had to go all in. I understand why. And that contract, by the way, is why the Chiefs traded him, because they can't afford that contract. They got too many other big ones.
And Les Snead doesn't like draft picks again.
No. F those picks.
So let's stick with the NFL. You mentioned the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Moist Pork, we were just talking about Moist Pork, but he said, to your take about Brady saying no to the Patriots trade, is there any chance Brady simply didn't like what New England was giving back? The Ravens have a higher first-round draft choice this year. Who knows what next year presents, but it seems like 2027. The old cliche is that every next draft is the best draft.
Right.
So yeah, that's what they're saying.
Look, 2 1s for Maxx Crosby. If the Patriots weren't going to give up 2 1s, then it's obviously a non-starter. But the report was that, and I think it was from Jeremy Fowler, that basically Brady was not going to do business with the Patriots. He just was, he's not going there. So I don't think there's any way the Patriots are going to top 2 1s, but it is interesting that it was apparently a non-starter for Brady to send him to New England.
Yeah, I don't really understand, and I don't think we all ever will understand the Brady-Patriots relationship. They put a 10-part documentary out, or what was it, 5 parts, 10? I don't remember
10,
how many episodes.
yeah.
It was 10?
10.
It was like 3 years ago. I forget how many parts to that documentary there were, and I still don't understand what that relationship is like. Robert Kraft calls him a son. Brady now doesn't want to do business with the Patriots. There's a Belichick story in there. There's hundreds of them, and I don't really understand it. I don't think we ever will.
I think it's so complicated and layered. I think Brady likes to play the unobtrusive, everybody likes me, I'm the leader type of guy. He does not want to rub people the wrong way, but internally, behind the scenes, there's clearly things that are not said about Brady. The fact that guys that always were unbelievably loyal to Brady and kept everything in-house would publicly go after him for not picking the Patriots suggests that I think there's a sense amongst the organization that Brady distanced himself from the Patriots thing, and they feel like he almost turned his back. And I don't know if that's his ego. I don't know if that's about Bill. I don't know if he feels like Kraft wasn't there when he needed him to be there to push Bill out instead of pushing him out. Who knows what that is? But you're right. Super layered, super complicated, and people, I don't think anybody really knows. And by the way, Alex Guerrero, according to reports now, is also driving people crazy in Vegas. Apparently, Guerrero is once again up to his old trick. So it is possible Brady's Guerrero thing pissed a lot of people off in New England, and that still kind of might have remnants of why there could be a strained relationship there.
Yeah,
they say the right
Guerrero
things,
thing.
right? Krebs says the right things. Brady publicly says the right things, but internally, it's far more complicated.
The whole Guerrero thing is kind of crazy too, because it seems like he's just the eyes and ears when Brady's not there. And it seems like he takes that as, oh, I can act like Tom Brady. And then Maxx Crosby says,
yeah,
no, you can't. And then he gets traded for 2 1s.
Right.
So,
True. Yep.
What an interesting story.
Sure is.
Speaking of 2 first-round picks, this comment from Randy really made me laugh. If the Browns traded for 2 1s, they'd probably redraft Brandon Weeden and Johnny Manziel.
Oh my God. Remember the year that the Browns had 2 1s, they went Trent Richardson and Brandon Weeden.
Yeah,
I mean, you just imagine having 2 1s and coming up with that. Browns fans tortured.
2 1s are great until you have to make the draft pick, and then you got to figure out how they turn out.
That's right.
So who knows what 2 1s will turn into. Last, I wanted to talk about baseball. Matthew left this comment. You mentioned the lockout. I blame the Dodgers for bypassing the rules and lesser teams for just not attempting to spend anything. It was bound to happen. I don't know if the Dodgers made it happen as much as they spurred on the conversation. The Dodgers followed the rules, and they have an owner, Mark Walter, and Andrew Freeman, who's aggressive, who says that if you're reasonable about every free agent, you're going to finish in 3rd place with every free agent. And they spend a lot of money and they win. And then owners want a salary cap. So now there's conversations about a salary cap, but then owners who don't want to spend realize that with a salary cap, you need a salary floor, and the salary floor is higher than the payroll that they initially want with their team. So it's this give and take. And meanwhile, the players don't want a salary cap at all because they want to make as much money as they can. So nobody agrees on anything. And what they have going for them right now is great because they just put in these rules with a pitch clock and now with ABS where games are shorter and more intriguing and more interesting. So they have the interest. And now all this discussion about a salary cap where no owner seems like they really know what they want from it, but they just don't want to spend as much as the Dodgers, leads to a lockout that the players don't even want to have.
Well, it is. You're right about all of that. It is extraordinary to me, though, that you wouldn't look at the NFL and go, that seems to be working pretty well. Look at hockey. Hockey, it's definitely working better. They had to lose an entire season to get there, but having a constraint on spending on both ends, height and the bottom, has helped that league create, far more parity and nobody with runaway spending. Like the Edmonton Oilers have just as good a shot of going to a Stanley Cup final as the Rangers do. The Carolina Hurricanes or the Florida Panthers or the Tampa Bay Lightning. These are all franchises that you don't have to worry that they can't spend the same as the Blackhawks or the Bruins or the Kings. So it's of course working, and that should be the goal for every league, to have more teams that are more bunched together for success, because it rises all boats. The thing about the players is, of course, they don't want a salary cap because they don't care if the Marlins don't pay. They just want to make sure the Dodgers do pay.
Right.
And right now they got what they want. They will say we want more owners to spend more. And of course, wouldn't that be nice if you could go into work and say, okay, I work for H&R Block. I want every accounting firm in America to have to spend X on their payroll. That's going to help you out with your jobs. Of course, you would want that. But as long as the Dodgers and Mets and Cubs and Red Sox and Yankees don't have to worry about spending, they'd rather have that. And that's just not reality in today's day and age. If all the other leagues have proven that they're better with a salary cap, you're going to have to figure it out. You can't be the only one that doesn't have a cap forever.
The problem with instituting a salary cap is you have to institute a salary cap, if that makes sense. Like, there needs to be a floor, and then you've already given out all these contracts that are an exorbitant amount of money that you got to readjust to the salary cap.
Yes.
And there's some
It's a
owners
process.
who are in for that, and some who are not, and some who have teams that are below the salary floor and they don't even want to pay more money. So it might be a mess. I hope it's not, but because they got a good thing going, and every summer you want to see baseball, but it'll be pretty interesting for sure.
Let's make sure that we don't lose any games, but I'm worried that we are going to.
So am I, sadly. But yeah.
Okay. Is that all the comments?
I mean, I got some more if you want to see them, but
Yeah. Give me another one.
all right. Let's talk a little Jets. Why not?
Oh, God.
Matthew here says, if the Jets sign Carson Wentz, I think Roger Goodell should, in the interest of what's best for the league, make the Jets play in the Arena Football League.
I mean, it's distinctly possible the Jets don't get a primetime game this year. But if we go into the season where Carson Wentz is the starting quarterback, I find it hard to believe you'll ever see them in a window that's not 1 o'clock on a Sunday.
So-
I mean, would you ever have them in any other window? How awful would that be to watch?
Maybe an international game. Just give him to the Europeans.
Oh,
and
that's a
let
good
them
point. I
watch
don't
it.
know if they're scheduled for an international game.
I
Oh,
actually
God.
don't know either. But
Imagine outsourcing Carson Wentz.
so I'm curious though, like if I'm not going to ask the question as to who is better than Carson Wentz, because we could sit here and name free agent quarterbacks that are, but it's more, is the difference for a Malik Willis or Kyler Murray really that great compared to a Carson Wentz in your opinion? Like, it doesn't seem like the options are that great to begin with for the Jets.
Well, look, I would not spend $30 million a year on Malik Willis. I think the Jets are not close enough to make that make sense. And, you know, I don't know what Kyler Murray is going to get in the open market. I'm not a Kyler Murray fan. But I think if you go with Carson Wentz, you're already waving the white flag. And maybe that's the whole idea for the Jets in 2026. Like, let's lose to set ourselves up for a good quarterback in the draft in 2027. But I just can't imagine. And maybe, again, this is just March NFL reporting, so it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
I just can't imagine in September opening up the season going, we hope Carson Wentz is our starter all season long. For any team, but let alone a team as bad as the Jets. That is preparing for 3 wins. It's ensuring 3 wins.
Imagine if they got Tua. I'm just thinking about that right now. Like that feels weird.
Extremely. Yeah. I mean, Kyler seems weird too. It all seems quite weird.
I do have to say, days like tomorrow, everyone hypes up the NFL draft, and that's great. The NFL draft is amazing. I love the NFL draft. But days like tomorrow are probably in the conversation for my favorite day of the NFL offseason.
Really?
Everybody
got into free agency.
Oh my gosh, yes. I have a free agency story for you.
Okay.
So I'm a Giants fan.
Okay.
And in 2015, they lost like 6 to 8 games by the last second. Like they couldn't close a game. And the problem was defense. And ownership told then general manager Jerry Reese, spend as much money as you can on defense. You have the open checkbook, go. And I think I was on school break. I don't know why I was like locked in on NFL free agency, but I was reacting like crazy to every free agent signing they made. Like the Olivier Vernon, Janoris Jenkins, Snacks Harrison. I was going nuts. And I think that just started my love for the legal tampering period, which is such a sicko thing to say.
Your passion for the legal tampering period.
But it's one of my favorite days in the entire NFL offseason. I don't know why. It just is.
Okay. All right. I had no idea anybody was that passionate about tampering. I like that you're that much into it.
Yeah, there's a new rule this year where you can FaceTime up to 5 free agents for up to an hour. You didn't
I didn't know that. There's a FaceTime rule, huh? Okay.
Yeah, you used to have to do it through the agent, which I didn't even know. I learned that through the Hard Knocks, the offseason Hard Knocks that almost cost Joe Shane his job.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great day. I'm not going to be able to fall asleep tonight thinking about it.
Is there a player that you are fired up about tomorrow signing somewhere?
That's a good question. Tyler Linderbaum is supposed to like break the center market.
I mean,
Because
look,
why
boy,
not?
DA-liens everywhere. You have found your man. This guy is excited about Taylor Lindenbaum setting the center market. We have found our guy that loves minutia of sports. He's perfect here.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I love it. It's awesome. The teams with cap space, go at it. Have fun. Like, be kids in candy stores. That's what you got to do.
Very good. Very, very nice. All right. I want to read through a few suggestions for Aiden when he comes into New York. I'm going to have breakfast with him on Thursday. And so let's see. We got some suggestions. El Capo says a bagel sandwich. You can't ever go wrong with a BEC, bacon, egg, and cheese, and a bagel in New York City. That's always a good one. Let's see. No atomic wings for DA. Yeah, Matt, I think it's also going to be pretty early for atomic wings, but I'm going to try to avoid those for the time being. Probably not in my best interest after the way that my body felt last time we did so. El Capo, yeah, the bodega egg sandwich is always a good play. Bodegas, these Latin groceries and delis around the city are always great for their hot griddle. You go in there, they got eggs going all day. They got bagels. You can throw anything on the griddle, anything on that hot plate, and just have it coming off the sandwich. It's made to order. Always a great call. Soft pretzel with mustard. Yeah, if it's warm this week, which it looks like it's warming up, you might have those carts around the city come out a little bit more. So that's a good idea as well. That's a great idea from Delta 9 Brian. Breakfast tacos. That's a pretty good one, especially since he's making tacos every single week. That's a really good one. And so, what makes a breakfast taco? Well, breakfast. Any taco is good as long as it's for your morning breakfast, your morning meal. Chris in Buffalo. A really good bagel shop in Rockaway. Okay, that's a good one. Yep, New York bagels, absolutely a must. We got to get him some New York bagels this week. They legitimately are. It's the water, and that's what everybody says. It's the water. It's that dirty city water that makes the best bagels. I think that's the key. And I think those are all good suggestions for you guys. I will absolutely make sure that we also are documenting it for next Sunday night so that you guys can see some pictures, and we'll make sure you guys get caught up. El Capo says, killing it with the Touchdown Club content, the monthly Q&DA, the badges, the gear, can't beat the price. Everything is consistent with the most prominent influencers. Yeah, there you go. Glad that you're enjoying it. It's going to be very cool to see all the new faces each and every month as we give away some more memberships each week here on the show going into those Ask DA Anything. So love to see it. And it's always good as well with daylight savings. We were forward an hour today, and so an extra hour of daylight. My brother came over, and I took little AJ outside. We tried to tap one of my maple trees for some maple syrup. My brother, great outdoorsman. He loves hiking. He loves fishing. He loves wildlife. He loves doing the outdoor thing. And so he was tapping maple trees at his girlfriend's place. And so he said, you want me to come over to find? I said, yes, you can find a maple tree in my yard. I think we know where there is one, and you can help me tap it. Let's do it. So I brought AJ out. We were out there tonight, and it was a little bit more daylight than we normally have. Warmer weather coming in. We tapped it. Love it. And hopefully I wake up tomorrow and have myself a drum of some maple sap that I then got to boil, apparently. He's going to help me out with that. But my mi hermano, Jay Amendo, is helping me out. Tap some trees for some maple syrup. How about that? Got to teach the little guy the ways of nature. I will let you know how it goes. We eat a lot of waffles in this house. A lot of waffles. I'm a big French toast guy as well. AJ loves his waffles. Now, not just Eggo waffles out of the freezer. I have the pancake batter, the waffle batter, put them in the waffle iron, bada bing, bada boom. Got to have the good syrup for that. So I'll let you know how it goes. Before we get out of here, we want to do a little Mo laugh of the day. And Ben Spector always, da-da-da-da-da, Ben Spector gadget, always finds a good one. How about this? This is the Stevens lacrosse team, okay? Watch this. The Stevens lacrosse team shows up to their teammates' spelling bee in full lacrosse garb. Watch this.
Encephalopathy.
Clock. Yeah, 3.
Axia.
Can you repeat that?
Yep.
Ataxia.
A. T. A. X. I.
Don't you love that? You have like a game atmosphere in the crowd at a spelling bee. That was great. I think I would attend more spelling bees if that was the vibe in the crowd. You have to love it. Lax bros all over. That was the Stevens lacrosse team as one of their teammates was in the spelling bee. Fantastic find from Ben Spector, our executive producer. All right, that's going to do it for us tonight here on the show. Thank you all for making us part of your Sunday nights. It is a passion project around here to make sure we go live as often as we can every Sunday night. And the fact that you guys are always here for it makes my heart sing. And as the warm weather comes up, Exhale cocktails are right around the corner, which means when you're cracking a cold one, hanging out outside, getting away from your phone or the rigmarole, you crack your favorite beverage, you take a photo, you send it to me. And when you're outside of the deck, you're outside in your flip-flops, you're outside of the pool or the beach or the lake or out in the yard or on the porch on the deck, you send me that photo and we will post those as the weather gets warmer this spring and this summer to make everybody exhale with their cocktails. Very good. I'm going to be at it tomorrow morning with Babs. You can listen to DA and Babs, Mad Dog Sports Radio, channel 82 on Sirius XM every Monday through Friday. I'm DA. Thanks to Ben Spector, and thanks to Adian Hatton for joining us, the Marquette Marvel, tonight here on the show. We will see you all tomorrow morning on Sirius, and then next Sunday night right here on Watch DA Live. Be good. Be good to one another. Love you all. The mothership disconnects.